I cannot believe it's only Tuesday, but nevertheless, you're watching Smell the Coffee with Dana Master and Aina Riza Quayo. We decided to match today to wear blue.
We're wearing blue.
Talk about synchronicity.
Yes.
The girls are aligned.
The
How
girls
you
are
doing?
within. I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. I said earlier it's crazy that it's only Tuesday, but then if you think about it, the week will just fly by.
Yeah.
In a few days, it's going to be Friday before you know it.
And then it's October.
And then it's October. Guys,
Then
we're
it's
living.
November. Then it's December.
We are living as soon as possible.
and then the year
colleagues.
is done.
Yes, now it's time for you to check in with your goals, see how far you are with your New Year's resolutions. How
Yeah.
are those coming along? Yeah.
Anyway, somebody who's having a great year is Tyler. Tyler yesterday won the Afrobeats Award
Oh, nice.
for her song Push to Start.
Oh.
And that is at the VMAs,
Okay.
Video Music Awards.
Nice.
And yeah, man, Tyler, well
Congratulations,
done,
sweetie.
She's doing so well. I feel like Tyler is the biggest star in the world right now.
Honestly speaking, I think Tyler is just a testament of when it's your time, it's your time.
Yeah, when it's your time, and
Nothing can stop it. No one
Mm.
can stop it. It's your time, and there's nothing anybody can do to stop it. So you know what, Tyler? Congratulations. Continue eating them out, sweetie.
Shout out, sweetie. We are so proud of you. Like, I feel like Tyler is like for all of us, you know, for all of us in SADC. Like, that's our girl. We fight her battles in the comments. You know, that's our girl.
Wow.
Like,
You know, I've never understood that whole concept of fighting for somebody else in the comment section. I'm just like, you know
no,
what?
that's you. It's loyalty.
I love that. I honestly love
must
that
have
you guys
loyal
do that.
fans.
I love that they do that, but I, for one, I don't even follow any celebrities. I don't. That's why most of the time, you're like, do you know who? I'm like, who? Who's that? I don't follow celebrities. I'm not into celeb culture like that. A celebrity could pass me by and someone would be like, oh my goodness, that's who. And I'd just be like,
Oh, hi, ho.
okay, cool, sharp. I once had an encounter with somebody who is quote unquote famous. So
Why
I was
quote unquote?
introduced. That's another story for
Oh,
another
you
day.
don't think they're famous?
They are famous,
Okay.
but then it's that whole thing of they believe that everyone should know who they are. Now, unfortunately for them, I genuinely did not know who they were. So somebody went and introduced me to them. Oh, Diana, this is so and so. And I said, sorry, who? So and so. And I said, oh, okay, nice to meet you, so and so. And then this person goes, where are you from that you don't know me? And I
Okay.
said, what do you mean? And the person said, you know, I'm famous everywhere. People know me. And I said, well, I genuinely do not know you. And it's not even me trying to cloud or burst your bubble, but I genuinely don't know who you are. So, yeah. And I think a lot of celebrities have this mentality of everybody should just know who I am.
Yeah, I mean, I'm famous, duh. That's
Oh
why.
my
That's why I'm
gosh.
called a celebrity. Why do you not know me? Do you live
You're
under the
clearly
rock
not
or
that
what?
famous then if I don't know you.
No, some of you are just haters. You see celebrities, you're like, oh, there are no celebrities in Namibia. You are just haters. You don't want to acknowledge these celebrities because you feel like, yeah, it's just the ordinary person. No, these people are famous for their talent or whatever it may be that they are famous for. The problem is we as Namibians don't acknowledge celebrities.
It's one thing to not acknowledge. It's another thing for you to not
Not
know
know.
the person.
Okay.
Because I genuinely did not know. It was my first time meeting this person. And so it's just, I don't know, guys. I do apologize for not knowing who you are. But at the end of the day, I legitimately just did not know.
You as a media personality, as a celebrity yourself, you have no excuse to not know who celebrities are. You are
Chomi, I stay in my
ignorant.
house.
No,
Chomi, I stay
no,
in
no,
my
no,
house.
No, there is no way you can tell me you
I
don't know
stay
X
in-
and X as somebody who's on TV, radio, Showmax.
don't.
No,
I
no,
don't.
sweetie, you
The
gotta
same
get
way
on the
people don't know
program.
me.
People know you.
Do you
People
guys know me? Anyway, we do have a jam-packed show for you guys. So stick around. We'll be right back with our top stories.
Do you like traveling?
Do you like to experience new places?
Well, then you should tune into On the Rock, where we explore enjoy establishments all over Namibia and South Africa. Great food, great fun, and so much more. So be sure to mark your calendar as we explore the beautiful landscapes of Namibia at the various enjoy establishments.
And where we also get to go on game drives, different activities, and meet the awesome staff of the different establishments.
We will see you there. Watch On the Rocks every Monday at 9 p.m. on DSTV channel 285 and GoTV channel 25.
Now, before we start, if you've been paying attention, you will know that ShopRite is giving away 35 vouchers, each worth 3,500 Namibian dollars, and 35 winners could walk away with that. So you could be the next winner. All you have to do is scan that QR code and follow the instructions, and you could walk away with a voucher worth 3,500 Namibian dollars to stock up on all your groceries just before Christmas. Nevertheless, getting into our top stories now. So this summer belongs to the Etsy Witch. While witches for hire have been selling for their wares, mysterious tinctures, incantations, the odd curse or crystal for a few years on Etsy, since May, there's been a huge uptick in orders for one thing in particular, the promise of a perfect wedding day. Around the world, anxious brides-to-be are sliding into the DMs of custers and ordering personalized spells in the hopes that a power beyond our realm will help their weddings go off without a hitch. It's a day people tend to spend masses of time and money on, so what's an extra £7 for peace of mind? It all started with influencer Jazz Smith, who live posted her wedding day on TikTok at the end of May. One post drew more than 1 million views, a playful admission that she'd paid an Etsy witch for good weather. And it worked. The comments flooded with "Drop the link, girl, I'm getting married soon," until she shared the shopfront of Naturalistic Blessing, a UK-based witch and tarot reader who soon had so many orders that she was forced to pause trading. Now, Etsy technically banned the sale of spiritual and metaphysical services back in 2015, but many in the world of tarot, Wicca, and alternative therapies teamed up to oppose it. Today, with hundreds of witchcraft practitioners selling perfect weather spells and rituals for calm love and harmony on your special day on the platform, the hype around premarital magic has only built Google searches for Etsy witches and have risen by 80% since the end of June.
What in the world
Yes.
is going
Tommy,
on?
forget rain on your wedding day. Why would it rain on your wedding day when you can just hire a witch?
When you can just cast a spell for good weather.
For good weather.
Yo.
So influencers all over. There's this one influencer that recently got married and she said she hired 3 Etsy witches because everyone was commenting, "Oh, your wedding day was so stunning and the weather was just perfect." And she said, "Yeah, I hired 3 Etsy witches so they could give me perfect weather for my wedding."
You know, this would work so well for people who want to get married in December.
Yes,
because
when it's
when it's
season.
raining, yeah. Like I remember my cousin's wedding. We didn't enjoy it because the rain came
Yes.
and it stopped everything.
And people are always like, "Oh, but rain is such a blessing. It's
yes,
good
it's
luck."
a blessing, but
I get it, but there's
we
this
wanna
one
party.
lady. There's
Yeah.
this one lady. She was saying that she checked the weather forecast, and there was going to be a storm that one specific day that she was getting married. She hired some Etsy witches, and then immediately after the witch said that she had cast the spell, she went and she checked the weather app, and it was clear skies. Yeah.
I don't believe this, bro.
Yeah.
What do you mean? I
You
don't
should
believe.
check. There are good reviews. People are actually saying that these Etsy witches work. These
Wow.
spells that they cast, they work.
Wait.
Yeah.
Let me wrap my head around this.
And not just that, okay? Another lady was saying that she doesn't really get along with her mother-in-law. So she could just picture her mother-in-law making a scene on her wedding day. She hired an Etsy witch to cast a spell for peace and harmony on her wedding day. And her wedding day went off without a hitch. Mother-in-law was behaved, sat, and yes.
Where do we find these witches?
Just go on Etsy, etsy.com, and then you search weather witch or harmony or cast.
Do you think that would
cast a
work?
spell.
Like, wait, where is this? What country is this? What location is this?
Everywhere. Like
Everywhere.
It's mostly Europe and the Americas where
Okay.
people are hiring Etsy witches to cast.
Do you think it will work in Africa?
Chami, I'm willing to try, but I don't know what the consequences are. Do you understand?
No,
Because
but what
imagine-
could be the possible consequences?
I don't
mean,
know.
it's your wedding. There's no rain. There's no wind. There's no disturbance of anything that is out of your control.
I'm scared to dabble with those things.
With spiritual forces, dark spiritual
forces. Now you don't know that low key. They're saying that, yes, you'll get perfect weather, but your marriage will only last 3 years or something. I don't know. These things always come with terms and conditions.
Yeah, terms and conditions.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not willing to, but I think I need somebody close to me to try it.
Yeah.
And then they see if it works.
And
then
then
they can recommend. Because it's easy for me to believe you than to believe a complete stranger.
Stranger, yeah.
Like, I don't know. But
I don't know.
colleagues, good luck.
Good luck.
Good luck. But nonetheless, moving over to our next story, media personality, my favorite girl in the world. Bonang Matheba is no stranger to breaking boundaries, all right? So the award-winning media personality and businesswoman is now plotting her boldest move yet, taking her luxury beverage brand, House of B&G, into the aviation industry. Speaking exclusively to Sunday World, Matheba revealed that she wants to see B&G sparkling wines served on flights across South Africa and abroad. I want to get into airlines, she declared with characteristic confidence, hinting at her vision to make House of B&G a global lifestyle brand. Have you ever tasted B&G?
No, I have not.
Oh, sweetie.
Is it giving?
Sweetie, it's the best.
No, I don't trust you because one thing about you, you will defend Bonang.
Ask other people, bro.
Okay.
Ask other people. I like the can one.
No, okay.
The can one is really, really good. But she recently announced that she's making mimosas. So you can now get a B&G mimosa. But it's a good drink.
Okay,
It's
I
a
have to try it for myself because the
drink.
thing with Aina
I'll
is...
send you a can. Oh,
Please,
it's like 65
please.
in Woolworths.
Okay.
You can just pass and go. No, it's one can. The box is 400.
Okay.
400, 500.
Okay.
And it has, I think, 4 cans in it.
Okay.
But one single can is like
It's
65.
65.
I don't know if it was on sale then when I saw it at 65. But yeah, one single can was 65 in
You should
Woolworths.
please send me a can. I'll be
I'll
waiting.
send you one can. Or maybe
Because
I'll
you guys
send
know
you the
Aina.
whole box.
You guys know Aina. Aina will defend Bonang to the T, like to the death.
No, but the girl is good.
Okay.
Her drink is good. She
Okay.
herself is good. Like, it's Bonang.
Okay. My point exactly. My point exactly. But anyway, she did say she'll send it to me, then I can try it for myself. And then I can, give an honest review.
Yeah.
But shout out to Bonang. I do have to say, though, I love what she's doing. And I don't know if it's her PR team, whoever it is that is behind this whole thing of even pushing it out into the aviation. Wow. Shout out. And shout out to Bonang's brain, bruv. Because the fact that she managed to cook this up and even say, you know what, I'm going to take it to the skies. How?
It's really doing good.
Love it for
It's
you,
a good
Bonang.
brand.
Love,
It's a
love,
good drink. I feel like it's a celebration drink. At every celebration. If
It should
I
be
could
there.
afford to have it at every celebration,
You would.
I would.
Okay.
Like at my birthday, I'll probably have it at my birthday next year because it's
Okay.
my 30th. I just need to, have my girl there. But like at
Bonang,
big events, it
please
should
make
be
Aina
there.
your brand ambassador. Please.
Yeah, I think Bonang call me so call me.
Because you can see she is doing most of the work here. She's a whole brand ambassador without even being a brand ambassador.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, that does bring us to the end of our top stories. Stick around for this next interview coming right up.
The president of the African Widows Growth and Development Initiative, Mrs. Hope Wakwesi, now joins us to talk about this initiative and what we need to know about it. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing fine. Thank you so much for having us. And We are grateful because media is part of the bigger body of this movement.
All right.
Information is power.
We are definitely glad to have you, and you are right. Information is definitely power. It helps you harness your future with knowledge and intention. Coming to our conversation this morning, what is the bigger vision behind the summit?
Well, the African Widows Summit is an advocacy project of the widows body. You know, 2020, after the summit in Nigeria, you know, during COVID, we had a virtual summit. So we had speakers from African continent. And after the summit, we realized that the problem is the same. Cultural manipulation and government neglect. Then immediately after the summit, we created a WhatsApp group. And in that WhatsApp group, we began to ask ourselves, what can we do each? I mean, we were less than 10 then. And we called ourselves, you know, widows leaders, because we were widow survivors across the continent who are already doing something within our strength with our individual NGOs trying to change. And we now began to say, what can we do to bring this to the forefront of the African discussion? And we now said, you know, judging from my experience, I'm a teacher, a professional teacher, but knowing and having used media and advocacy, because advocacy is information and teaching.
Yes.
Kind of. I said to them, I suggested, let's first of all do an advocacy program. Let's turn the Widows Summit into an African Widows Summit. That will give us an outing, and that's what it's all about. It kind of brought us into the system, and now people are hearing it, people are wanting to know more.
Okay. So this year also, I understand you are launching the Pan-African Widows Agenda. What are the key priorities for you for this agenda?
Yeah, you know, like I said, recognizing the vital importance of widows and the neglect in the demography, we realize that we're beginning to discuss about widows and the issues. It has to be an agenda, you know. And what are the agendas? What are the key priority areas? We are looking at policy, protection. That is number one problem that we're having across the continent. And we are looking at education, reorientation, you know, because when we make the policy and put it in the file, it's useless.
Yeah.
But when you make the policy and there are people who take it into the communities, people are informed that this exists, it becomes functional. Then we now talked about provision, which is social inclusion. What are they? We are looking at it. How do you now begin to provide facilities across economic, education, health? These are the key areas where widows have challenges with them and their children. So these three areas are where the agenda is discussion is going to key around at the conference starting on Wednesday.
Okay, you spoke about some of, you spoke about cultural manipulation. I also understand that there are some systematic issues that widows are facing across the African continent.
Yeah.
How do you plan on addressing them each, perhaps individually? I know you spoke of education. Maybe you can just expand that conversation.
Yeah, the first of all, you know, we already have different bodies and individuals doing things across the communities. And we all know that the one person or two person at every point is doing one thing for the widows around charity.
Yeah.
That's always around charity. So, but what we are now talking about is, as a body now, we are coming up bigger, bringing our voice together. We are asking for policy, because there's always a dichotomy between legal status and cultural status in Africa. So there's need for both the government and the traditional rulers. That's why we keep saying stakeholders and gatekeepers to come together and have a uniformity. We need to know where the culture stops and where the policy takes. So that's one of the things. So, and one of the things we want to, by the time we as a body becomes the link and talk to the government and we get this thing, the same way we as a body goes into the community using our membership and everything, begin to bring it. Because the reality is that, yeah, there's across the continent, there are a lot of laws, a lot of legal things being passed for political purposes, you know. Yeah. People I realize that some politicians take credit in I passed this bill. But the question has always been, having passed it, how effective is it being implemented in the community? So that's where we as widows now come in. When we advocate and get this thing passed, we go further to make sure that these things are transmitted into the community.
Okay. I think you just answered my question now about how stakeholders can come and play their part in this initiative. Now I want to ask, how do you then ensure that you shift the conversation around widows from one of vulnerability to empowerment? How do you do that?
Well, like we said, it's the role of the government. The role of the government is to provide, I always say, the five key dimensional areas widows across Africa, I think across the world, have issues in terms of legal, housing, health, finance, and education.
Yeah.
So this, if we want to be honest, is not something that can be solved universally. Remember, our theme is universal culture. It's something that needs to be solved by, if you want to solve it universally, by the government. And that's where the government, we are talking about what are this existing inclusion of these people in policies, planning, and allocation. It is absolutely almost 0 to 5% inclusive. That is where you are. So how do we ensure when we begin to treat from the government, it begins to include widows. I always like to give as a preschool provider. I always like to give a simple analogy to take home my point. If that widow in my community, in your community, can have access, she has a farm, she has a small SME business, and she can have access to small 1,000, 2,000, or 10,000 Namibian dollar with design interest rate.
Okay.
Through her community, you design the structure of the collateral using the community engagement. You have empowered her. One of the things I tell people, I have been widowed for 31 years plus, and I have been working for widows for 10 years.
Okay.
I have realized that the idea, when we keep our discussion just on land rights, legal rights, it is 1% of the problem we are talking of. Because when you give past law, I know so many countries, including mine, that have passed law, it's still yet to be implemented. Because cultural reorientation is not something you take away.
Yeah.
It's going to take time to rebuild. And the sure way I have seen it to be rebuilt is through the widows having access to finance and empower herself and her children. Let me give you an example. I have seen widows who their property were taken away from them.
Yeah.
And they go, for example, and raise their kids. And their kids goes back to their father's house and father's family and demand for their property. 99.9% of the time they get it. So that's why it is important to shift the narrative, to shift the discussion from charity to strategy, so that each woman, when she's widowed, we have access to this finance, health, education, to raise her kids and raise herself. If we take it from that narrative, the cultural practices and the property grabbing and everything will naturally die away. It will naturally, and that's why we're saying, like the question you asked, that's the way to change the narrative. Yeah. If you give the woman, if you give the widow the access, the government give them, health care, what are the functional health care she can get, healthcare insurance facilities that are accessible to her to pay. She can leave the family and the struggle. She doesn't have to.
And that's all the time we have for you today on Smell the Coffee. We'll be back again tomorrow, same time, same place.